even the Japanese, after the terrible accident they had in Fukushima, they're restarting all their reactors now because they realize nuclear is the source of green energy and is carbon-free. This is the solution to many of these energy requirements that are happening right now. Good evening, everybody. My name is Crispin, and it's a beautiful day, but last year, let's be honest, it was as I call it, a perma-crisis. It was a terrible year, 2022. Started off, obviously, the invasion of Ukraine, and then it's just the whole year was very, very bad in many ways. In financial markets, everything was down. Equities, Nasdaq was down 33% on the year. S&P down 20%. FTX, as we've already talked about, kind of the implosion of crypto. And then the other thing that was happening that came more and more into the into the media was what was happening with the climate. And we saw around the world these very extreme climate events. Floods in Pakistan, record temperatures in different parts of the world. In Switzerland, we had the highest average temperature last year, in 2022, since records began. Since 1864, it was the highest average temperature. So just these extraordinary things that were happening in this perma-crisis, right? That's kind of the word of last year. So what's the kind of the impact of this, like the climate and the war in Ukraine? Kind of what's coming out of that? What's happening right now? Two things, kind of two big trends. Number one is countries are really taking climate change seriously now. They did in the past, but COP27 in Egypt. There's renewed commitment. And as part of that, there's a renewed commitment to really kind of look at energy mix, are renewables doing what they need to do? How do we transition into this new space? Secondly, what's happening is energy sovereignty. Countries really are thinking about where I source my energy from, who are my partners, how reliable is it? You look around the world, this is what's happening. So let me give you some examples. I mean, you can quote many, and the premise is that we need to look at these new ways of generating electricity. Nuclear power has been around for many years, and the biggest impediment to nuclear for many years has been political, but things are changing. It's a brand new environment out there for this way of generating power. So that's kind of the title of my presentation. And what we're going to do is look at a particular market and drill into it. I don't know if anyone knows where this is. This is Diablo Canyon. It's a nuclear reactor in California. California, the center of anti-nuclear sentiment around the world. Very democratic, very focused on renewable energies. What happened there? So they had 10 nuclear reactors in California. This is the last one, Diablo Canyon. It generates about 600 megawatts of power, which is about 10% of the electricity needs for California. 40 million people, big land mass, 10 times the size of Switzerland. So 2021, they said, okay, we're going to close our last nuclear reactor in California. We don't need it anymore. We've got enough renewables. So what happened? So November 2022, Joe Biden, Democrats, and a Democratic governor in California put in $1.1 billion to keep this nuclear power plant operating. And in fact, they're investing $6 billion into the nuclear industry because they need to provide this base power. what changed, like what caused this change? The reasons I've already talked about, but secondly, they're having blackouts in California. You couldn't charge your car, like your electronic vehicle. You couldn't turn on your dishwasher during certain times. That's not acceptable. Meanwhile, like the forecast of energy usage is going up massively. There's about a million EVs in California. They've just banned from 2035 gasoline cars. There's going to be 17 million EVs in California in about 12 years' time. Where are they going to get the power from to generate electricity to feed into all these electronic vehicles? So nuclear is coming back in a big way. So this is obviously one story in California. You look at Egypt, you look at Turkey, you look at France. Like you go around the world, in the kind of the democratic world, this is what's happening. In Asia, it's happening in a big way. China is, investing hugely in nuclear power. And even the Japanese, after the terrible accident they had in Fukushima, they're restarting all their reactors now because they realize nuclear is the source of green energy and is carbon-free. This is the solution to many of these energy requirements that are happening right now. So if you want to have a view into this market from an investment point of view, it's actually quite hard to invest in the market. Sure, you can go and speculate on the mines, but how do you invest in the kind of the physical commodity of uranium that feeds into the mines? So what we're launching with the best partners on the planet around uranium, Gen 2, Curzon ourselves, Zuri Invest and Cameco and TradeTech, is a way to invest in physical uranium at a very low cost, very highly liquid, and with daily reporting. If you're interested to learn more about this, please go on our website. You can register. I'm going to be around afterwards if you'd like to have a longer conversation about this market. But please, think about how this energy sovereignty and how important that is, and how we provide solutions for that in the future. Thank you very much.